What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us. This is the Yards Per Fantasy crew. 3 of us here tonight. We're doing a personalized podcast for the League 2024 edition. We'll give you a quick rundown here of what to expect, and then we'll just jump right into it. Excuse me. Basically, we got 10 of you guys. We're going to just go through, evaluate each team real quick off the cuff, tell you what we like, what we don't like, pull up the draft board, maybe tell you where we might have made some different draft picks or, stuff like that. And then maybe some suggestions on how to move forward. But that's pretty much the whole rundown here. And anyone else got anything to add?
No, I'm ready to go.
Let's do it.
Cool. All right. Well, so we got, let me find the notes here. Oh, one preface here is I'm probably going to talk some shit to you guys. So be ready for that. That's part of the fun. That's why we do this. Okay, so first up is Hot Fire. And this team here starts off with Anthony Richardson. You got to love that. Jahmyr Gibbs, Joe Mixon, that's a solid running back duo. We got Garrett Wilson, Cooper Kupp, Sam Laporta, Devontae Smith. Damn, this is a good-ass team. Javonte Williams on the bench, Ramondre Stevens. This is first critique. This is an all running back bench. I get like people like going heavy, but you need to at least get someone here at receiver.
I like it.
Yeah, I know.
This is my type of bench. This is perfect.
This team has 3 receivers. That's it. We need to at least get one more on this team. But this is a really good team. I'm gonna say that. And on the league notes here, we got second year playing fantasy football, started 4-0 last year, ended the season being the worst team. Okay, so worst to this is a damn good team in your second year. So bravo there. I don't think, you should be proud of this, the team that you drafted in your second year. But I'm over here telling you have too many running backs, but I'm going to tell you drafted all good ones for a bench. Like, I don't dislike any of these dudes as a bench running back. I just think there's too many of them. But I was like looking, I'm like, man, who could he cut? And I was like, shit, I don't know. I guess I like these guys. So yeah, bravo all around here. This is going to be a really good team. Yeah, honestly, I wasn't expecting to start into a team that was this solid. This team drafted from the 10 slot, so they went Gibbs and Wilson to start, and then got Cooper Kupp at 310, Sam Laporta 401. Fantastic top 4 start. Cooper Kupp, I think, was a great value at 310 before Puka got hurt, and now that's just to the moon for Cooper Kupp. And Garrett Wilson's going to be ridiculous all year. This team is really damn good. You've got Anthony Richardson insurance with Dak Prescott. This is going to be a contender. That's all I got to say about that.
That's a pretty good duo right there at quarterback. And, with the strength that he has in running backs on the bench, he might end up being able to move one of those for a wide receiver if he gets a little short.
Yeah, and if you look at the wide receivers on the waiver wire, you're in pretty good shape. If somebody, you got bye weeks, you have an injury, you need to plug somebody in for a week or two, you got plenty of choices on the waiver wire just for a temporary fill-in. I'm not too concerned about that. Like I said, this is how I like to build my teams. I love just loading up on running backs on the bench because you can find wide receivers anywhere at any time.
That's fair. That's literally like the one critique I have is I would have gotten a 4th wide receiver. See, that's it.
I mean, he only needs to start. He's only required to start 2 of them.
I mean, I get it. I still would want a 4th receiver if this were my team, but that's probably the only big criticism I've got.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Yeah, I like it, man. And it's already right out of the gate we got one that's tough to beat.
Yeah, I really don't have anything to hate on this team about.
I was sad. I didn't even get to talk any shit about this, really.
And this is only his second year playing fantasy football.
Oh, he got some help. He got some help.
Oh, yeah?
He got some help with this one. He must have. Going from worst to first.
Right.
Could be.
Or he's just doing his reading.
Yeah. So it is visiting yards for fantasy.
I would say listening to Alex.
Well, you're listening to Alex and doing the opposite.
But he finished last season off with a win in the toilet bowl. So
yeah,
he
there
had,
you go.
He had momentum. He had momentum coming in.
Exactly.
All right.
Let's move on to ready to move on to the next team?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this is the Commish, and his team name is the Commish. Very creative. Just like the name of the team. I mean, of the league. The league. All right. We got quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. Already starting rough. Kyron Williams at running back. Isaiah Pacheco, Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore, Trey McBride, Rashee Rice, Jake Moody, Chargers defense, Caleb Williams on the bench. So I guess, maybe you have a fallback, but it's going to take a little bit of time, I think. Bucky Irving, Dave Montgomery, Tony Pollard, Keon Coleman, and, of course, the much-needed backup defense, the Saints.
Everybody's got to have one.
Got to have the backup defense.
In a 10-team league.
No. I will say, real quick, we don't talk about defense and kickers unless it's to talk shit about you for drafting 2 defenses. That's probably about it.
Yeah, so obviously, I don't know what's going to happen with Tua. He might just end up being a drop for you. I don't know who's available on the waiver wire as far as quarterbacks, but I'm probably not trusting Tua. I mean, Caleb Williams right away. Go pick up Justin Herbert. He's on the waiver wire. Baker Mayfield's on the waiver wire. Justin Fields.
Ooh, yeah, I'd get Baker.
You got plenty of quarterbacks available on the waiver wire. Pick one of these guys up. You might be able to even stream the position week to week just based on matchups. And I think like Zach said, Baker Mayfield probably a good pickup this week going against the Lions. Lions just gave up 300 yards to the Rams last week. So it could be a big. I mean, that's going to be a shootout game. This could be a good week to play Baker. Obviously, you can't because you've already started Tua, but I do like Baker this week. And then we got Kyron Williams.
I think you're right. You can stream that position, and Caleb obviously needs a little bit of time to acclimate to the speed of the game, but I think by the end of the season he'll be firing on all cylinders, and we'll start seeing what made him the number 1 pick.
I mean, he certainly reminded us last week that he's a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
Now, to make things worse with the Tua injury, you also have Tyreek Hill on this team. So not only are you losing the production directly from Tua, but you're also going to get hit with Tyreek. Now, that means Skylar Thompson is the quarterback. And if you go back to 2 years ago when Tua had his other concussion injuries, Skylar Thompson was the quarterback at that point as well. And they played 3 full games together. Tyreek Hill averaged 5 receptions per game and 46.3 receiving yards per game with Skylar Thompson. Things are going to have to be better this time around if Tyreek Hill is going to be anything close to what he's been with Tua.
They're going to have to go out and get somebody that can sling the rock. There's a lot of talk about Tannehill. I don't necessarily buy into it.
Is he any better at this point?
I mean,
probably better than Skylar Thompson. Good Lord,
he was better than he was with Adam Gase, probably. So probably like that a little more, but I can see them going out and making a trade just for somebody that can hurl the ball. You know what I mean? But that's impossible to predict. But what if
Jimmy Garoppolo's only got 1 more week of suspension left?
What if they got Jameis Winston?
Well, I think the Browns might need Jameis Winston for themselves at this point.
True. Overall, it's a pretty good team. You gotta. I don't know what to say about the 2 defenses. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how that happens.
It's unnecessary. Well, I mean, they played them last week against the Panthers, which was genius, or they played so well last week against the Panthers, so they went on and picked them up. And now they're playing the Cowboys this week, so obviously not playing them then. But I think last week is a reflection on Bryce Young and the Panthers, not a reflection on the Saints as a startable fantasy defense.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that completely.
But they do play the Panthers again at some point, so
Yeah. And
probably
he's
not till the end of the year. But
yeah, maybe he's just riding the Panthers train. He's just going to keep picking up whoever's playing the Panthers.
well, he's got the Chargers in his lineup this week, so
right.
that's a good game to play right now.
We just outed you. That's your secret.
It's all over.
I mean, how long till we see Andy Dalton in Carolina? I mean, it's so bad, so bad.
They're just,
All right,
they're just not giving him any help, man. I don't get them.
I don't know. They got Deontay Johnson. I mean, what more do you? I mean, got Deontay Johnson. They drafted a wide receiver in the first round. I know he's not everybody's favorite wide receiver, but they still drafted a wide receiver. They're trying. I mean, it can't be this bad. It can't be this bad.
So many issues. They have so many issues.
He'll always have the S2 test. He'll always have the S2 test.
There you go.
That's all he needs. All right. Any last thoughts on this team?
No, I think you can clean up the bench.
Yeah, I think this seems fine. I don't think this one's gonna do any damage.
No,
especially after Tua.
Yeah.
I will say that Keon Coleman has done more already in one game than I thought he was going to do this whole season.
Which is impressive because he's hardly done anything.
Because he didn't really do anything. Yeah.
Impressive. Thursday night, 1 target, no receptions.
Right. But yeah, there's got to be somebody better on the waiver wire than
there is
than Keon Coleman. I mean, I know you want him to be the guy in Buffalo, but he's just not the guy.
Why don't you pick up Khalil Shakir?
Pick up Khalil Shakir. That's my guy.
He's got 13 points and 10 points. He's not breaking any games, but he's going to give you more than Keon Coleman's going to give you.
Right.
Fair point.
Pollard and Montgomery is nice on the bench. In a 10-team league, I'm not really sure about Bucky Irving, but it's not awful. So
this team's going to take some good breaks to make some noise after Tua and Tyreek damage, but
yeah,
we'll see.
Yep.
All right, Sam.
Ready to move on?
Yep.
Okay, so we're moving to the closer, who is 3 straight years in the finals, but has never, ever won.
Should probably stop calling him the closer.
I guess so. It seems like the opposite, doesn't it? They should call him the starter.
Yeah, exactly.
So we got CJ Stroud at quarterback. Swift and Brian Robinson are both going to add some receptions at the running back position in the backfield. AJ Brown, who is questionable this week. I'm not really looking at this week's game in particular, but Stephon Diggs, who I like, is a target hog. I still maintain that he will have the most targets on that team. George Kittle is steady. Really like Brian Thomas here in the flex. And, on the bench, we got Lawrence. So you got a chance to pair Lawrence with Thomas, if that's your thing. Zamir White and Kenny Walker. Walker's always got injury issues. Obviously, that already comes to the forefront the second game into the season. But when he's on, he's really, really on. Keenan Allen, Rashid Shaheed, and Puka. And they said the closer always gets burned by injuries at the beginning of the season. And look here. There's
3 of them already.
There's Puka, and he seemed to embrace that apparently when he drafted TJ Hawkinson.
And look, he's got AJ Brown too, who might be in trouble this week.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not trusting that AJ Brown's going to play this week, and it's on Monday Night Football. Hopefully, maybe this league has the auto sub activated.
Right.
Good opportunity to use that.
How do you guys feel about the auto sub? Just on the side note.
So there are two different settings for it. I like the part where, if I have an injury, player playing, let's say a 1 o'clock game or so, I can go in at Saturday night or 9 o'clock Sunday morning and choose a guy for an auto sub in case this guy's out, which would be the same exact move I would make at 12 o'clock right before kickoff after inactives come out. The one where I have an issue with, and I'm really not sure how I feel about it, is you can set it so that you don't necessarily have to choose a player who plays after or at the same time. You can pick an auto sub. You could auto sub AJ Brown with, let's say Jalen Waddle, just for example. He's already played on Thursday Night Football.
Right.
That, for me, that changes the strategy from normal fantasy football, whereas the other one is just you're doing it earlier. You're doing the same steps earlier. You're making the same decisions earlier. It's a whole different game.
Yeah, it's almost like the first option is just in case I forget. You know what I mean?
Right. Or I've got plans with family at 12 o'clock, so I can't make my decision then. I'm going to make it now.
Right. But subbing out a player who just happened to do better just cuts out so much of the strategy in fantasy football.
Yep.
Anyway, I didn't want to get too far into that, but I was just curious what you guys thought. Overall, I really like Thomas. I think he's going to produce this year. And along with AJ Brown, I would say by the end of the year, those are going to be your two starting wide receivers. And then it's probably going to be playing the matchups with Keenan Allen and Stephon Diggs and Rashid Shaheed in the flex spot. The benches, and Zamir White gets a lot of gets a lot of trash talking, and I don't see why. I don't mind him, except for the Raiders stink. And Kenneth Walker is a good player. What do you guys think?
Well, he lost a lot of snaps to Alexander Madison in week 1.
Yeah, that was concerning.
If you're losing snaps to Alexander Madison, I'm very, very concerned because Alexander Madison is about as bad as it gets.
Yeah, it seems like the defense really has to play a great game in order for Zamir to get his, the carries that you need him to get. Because if they're playing from behind at all, then it's automatically like a Madison game at that point. And Madison stinks.
If he's going to be the receiving back, Alexander Madison, you're in big trouble.
Yeah. What about you, Chelsea?
For what, Zamir White or this team?
This team.
It's fine. I mean, you got to remember this is only a 10-team league, so I feel like I want this to be a little more star-studded.
Yeah.
I know the injuries don't help, but I think this one's just fine.
Yeah, I'm not too crazy about the quarterbacks here because I would think in a 10-team league you want one of the Konami code quarterbacks.
I was going to say, in a 10-teamer, you need to get a rusher. Like
you need a rusher. I mean, CJ Stroud's got to throw 60 touchdowns in order to be the QB1. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of ho-hum. It's really going to take the veterans being better than everybody thought they were going to be. You know what I mean? The Keenan Allens and the Stephon Diggs.
Right.
Can we go back to quarterback for a second? Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm looking at the draft board. CJ Stroud in the 4th round with Jalen Hurts still on the board and Lamar Jackson still on the board.
What is this guy from Houston?
And Anthony Richardson, for that matter.
Yeah, this is a big mistake.
Way late. This was catastrophic.
Yeah.
Tell us how you really feel. It's going to be. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's going to get production out of those quarterbacks, but it's not going to be the production he could have had.
We're sure the last guy was the guy who's only played fantasy football for 2 years, or is it this guy? I don't like that move there at all.
It's easy.
Love that.
Easy to confuse him. And this is the closer. Been in the finals last 3 years. You better do something special to do it again, dude. You know, sit on the waiver wire. I don't know. But you gotta wait.
Okay.
You gotta wait.
Let's close it out on the closer.
Right. All
All
right.
right, we're getting up to let's see, Gaza. They not like us. And this is a team here. Let's see who drafted from the 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 slot.
They not like us.
We got Jalen Hurts at quarterback, and you lucked out because you got gifted Jalen Hurts by our friend who took C.J. Stroud. Saquon Barkley. You know, I was a little bit down on him, but I don't even care if it's one game. Juice. Holy crap.
Yeah.
That dude had juice. As long as he doesn't get hurt, he's going to be ridiculous. I don't understand why you have Zeke as a starting running back and a 10-teamer. That's pretty wild. I really I love Amon-Ra and George Pickens combo. That's a great combo. It's some 2 wide receivers with a Chris Olave. It's a nice trio. I'm down for that. Brock Bowers, I think he's going to be perform better than draft. You know, like his draft position.
Absolutely.
I think he's going to get a lot of targets. He's very athletic. They're going to just figure out ways to give him the ball. And hold up, Nico Collins is on our bench. Interesting. So, first of all, you need to get Pickens out for Nico because Pickens is going to get Pat Surtain guarding him against the Broncos. But yeah, drafting a 4th wide receiver here. Let's go to the draft board. 1, 2, 3. Holy Toledo. You drafted 6 wide receivers before in your first 8 picks when you can only play 3 of them.
That's kind of contrary to the first team that was or the second team that was loaded with running backs.
Yeah, but that team at least like made sure that the starting positions were good before they did that.
Right.
This guy did that, and the result is Zeke Elliott as a starter.
Yeah,
and a 10-teamer.
Well, also, I guess perhaps not this week against Kansas City, but perhaps Zach Moss might be a better starting running back.
Oh, easily.
Zeke Elliott this year. Elliott's only going to be his saving grace is going to be if he's scoring touchdowns like Mostert did last year. Because he's not going to have a bunch of 100-yard games or any of that stuff. And he's not going to catch a whole ton of balls out of the backfield either.
Yeah, I'd be playing Moss over Zeke, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't hate like the receivers you took. Like, well, I wouldn't have doubled up on Collins and Tank Dell, that's for sure. But
yeah, that's gross.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that. But yeah, I can't get on board with how this running back room played out. I think that's going to be a huge detriment to this team. And putting 6 of your first 8 picks into receivers when you can only play 3 of them, I think is going to be the other big problem here.
Yeah, I'm all for drafting 0 RB or hero RB, waiting on running back, but this was a little too late in a 10-team league, especially.
Right.
Well, here's the big question. According to the notes, this guy has auto drafted the last couple years.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing by last couple years they mean this year and last year.
Okay, that's a good point.
But even the auto draft isn't going to wait this long on a running back.
That's true.
They're going to fill your lineup.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. They're going to fill the lineup first. I don't get it. But yeah, the Nico and Dell thing is a little confusing. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. He's got a bunch of players that I personally am not high on this year. So, but I don't want to just use, my personal opinion to color how I feel about this draft. I don't like Olave. I don't like George Pickens. Maybe someday I'll like George Pickens when they have a reasonable quarterback. But it's still not the time. And I don't like Zeke, and I definitely don't like Dell. So I don't know. That's me. And a lot of people don't share that opinion.
I think this team could have. I think it's got a shot. I just think that, like I said, I think that draft strategy is going to be the downfall here and be the ultimate reason this one falls short.
Right.
Now, you certainly have opportunity here to maybe pair a couple of these wide receivers together. Maybe go upgrade a wide receiver, or you can upgrade a running back. There's going to be opportunities here. At least you got the depth and opportunity to do that. That's what I would be trying to do. I think he's indicated that here in the chat that that's probably his plan. Now, of course, that's easier said than done. That's if you're drafting to trade guys, a lot of times that doesn't work out. But we'll see if that happens here. Maybe take one of these Texans wide receivers, pair them with, I don't know, George Pickens, and boost somewhere else. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely pieces in place here to build something.
Yeah, there's gonna be an opportunity at some point down the line to nab a running back that's going to be better than Zeke Elliott. I'm looking right now. Corum's a free agent, so whenever he decides to get involved in that offense,
go get Jaleel McLaughlin.
Yeah, McLaughlin's there.
He'll give you that short-term production at least.
Yeah.
Rico Dowdle. I'd rather have Rico Dowdle over Zeke.
Yeah, and there's some and opportunities where injuries happen in front of them. If Madison were to take over the job from, forget it. I don't like anybody from the Raiders. But let's say something happens to ETN and you got Bigsby on the waiver wire.
Yeah. There are a ton of handcuff running backs on the waiver wire here. There's Ray Davis, there's Braylon Allen, Tyrone Tracy, Tyler Algier, Jalen Wright, Samaje Perine, Trey Benson. So you're gonna have opportunities. You just gotta make sure you're the one to get them. That's the problem. Right. I don't know if this league does fab or if it's just like a rolling waiver wire situation, but I'm stashing a couple of these running backs in case something happens, so you can take advantage and not have to have Zeke. I'd rather just play Zach Moss and drop Zeke and pick up some of these other guys and just stash them and see if you can get that lottery ticket hit.
Because this team's going to need the lottery ticket. I mean, that's the path is hitting that big ticket.
Right.
All right, Alex, hit us with the next one.
All right. This is Bob, ABAV. All right, we got Lamar Jackson at quarterback, Bijan Robinson at running back, along with Jonathan Taylor. Wide receiver, got Mike Evans and Zay Flowers. Dallas Goedert at tight end, Jerome Ford in the flex. On the bench, we got Raheem Mostert, Amari Cooper, Cortland Sutton, DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and of course, the two defenses, Texans and Chiefs. And on the injury reserve, we got Nick Chubb. So this team, to me, I was like loving this. Lamar, Bijan, Jonathan Taylor, Mike Evans as I'm going down. And it's like, Zay Flowers. All right. Okay. Well, cool. Zay Flowers. And then it gets to Dallas Goedert and against Jerome Ford. I like Jerome Ford, but I don't want to start him in a 10-team league.
Right. Bunch of just dudes here.
Yeah. We're missing something here. Something happened in the draft, and he probably reached on Nick Chubb in the 8th round, so you lost something there. You drafted two defenses. Jackson Smith and Jigba.
You guys in two defenses, so weird.
You want to roster two defenses in a 16-team league with big benches? Be my guest.
Yeah, sure.
10-team league? No, thank you.
You know what's interesting too is we just saw the guy that had Nico Collins and Tank Dell, he turned around and got DK Metcalf and Jackson Smith and Jigba. And I'm just not a fan of doubling up on receivers from the same team.
No, I
Especially when
haven't
they're
either.
worse than Nico Collins and Tank Dell. You got the worst version of it.
Yeah, exactly. You're never going to play them at the same time. And, the gods of fantasy football every single time are the one that's on your bench is the one that's going to get the points.
Exactly. You're never going to know which.
Incidentally, can somebody in the chat tell me what's the weekly challenges are? Do you guys know? Because this guy he had like 1-12 in 2022. Then last year he finished third, but it said he won the most weekly challenges last year, and I don't know what that means.
I think it's maybe like highest scoring team of the week.
Yeah, perhaps.
Or Sleeper also has some weird additional things you can like put money down on. I'm not really familiar with it. I haven't played them.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something like that.
Yeah, I was just curious if it was something that, had to do with, like your aptitude as a coach at making lineup decisions and stuff like that. Because I don't know. I just wanted to know. It doesn't really matter to me as far as the team goes. But anyway, I'm sorry. Ford in a 10 team. Ford should be a bench guy at best, like a plug and play if you need to. I'm not wild about any of the pass catchers for Denver, but anything could happen yet.
I just want to look at the draft board and see what happened here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you, Alex. It's just like you're looking at the start and you're like, yes.
Mm-hmm. This first 5 picks.
Even Evans, you're like, yes, let's go. And then it's just kind of, I don't know.
Well,
it's like you said, it's just a bunch of guys. Like Dallas Goedert's just a guy.
Right, exactly, yeah. Nick Chubb in the 8th round, that's tough. Over guys like DeAndre Swift, Tony Pollard, Chris Godwin, Kyler Murray. There's some weird picks in this draft for a 10-team league. Like Austin Eckler is going in the 9th round ahead of Jaden Reed, and
this guy's got to be
going really early.
He's got to be a fan of somebody in the AFC North. There's 3 Browns, 2 Ravens. I seriously doubt it just kind of fell that way. But anyway, and the Chubb thing worries me because if you drafted him thinking he's going to come back and be your savior towards the end of the season, the chances of him being any more than just a shell of himself when he comes back are somewhere between slim and none, and Slim just went home. So, I mean, he's on an IR. He's not taking up a roster spot. Fine. I get it. But if you're passing on starters like guys like Swift and deciding to start Jerome Ford instead, I don't know.
All right. I've had enough of this team. It sucks.
All right, Sam.
Remember the last time we did a league that was 10 teams? We were like, this team's good, this team's good, this team's good. We couldn't find a bad team.
Yeah, this is not that.
We're not having that problem tonight.
No. Well, for right now, we're going to waddle on Henry's Lambs.
Damn, this team's good. Sorry, go ahead.
He apparently is very knowledgeable about football, but has never made the playoffs.
Well, he's gonna this year.
Let's see why he never made the playoffs.
Holy crap.
The first word is injuries usually derail his team. Well, there's no predicting that, but let's see. Allen, Henry, James Cook, CD, Waddle, Ingram, Godwin.
This team's incredible.
That's outstanding right there. What's the bench look like? Aaron Jones? And he's got Jordan Mason?
With Jonathan Brooks on IR waiting.
Is there some rule? Is there some rule in this league that you must draft 2 wide receivers from the same team?
That's a good question.
Because he's got Hopkins and Ridley. Which is fine. I guess if you don't buy Ridley completely outdoing Hopkins, I guess I could see where you would do that and wait to see which one is the real kingpin there once Hopkins is healthy. Yeah, this team's going to win the league.
Okay, so I don't want to stroke this guy too much here because he apparently already knows a lot, which means he probably already, has got an ego. So
Right.
we're not gonna inflate it much more. However, I really like the first team I talked about. This team wipes that one clean.
Right. Well, I mean, they did say that injuries usually derail this team, and that's something that when we're evaluating these teams, we can never take into account. You know what I mean?
But see, injuries might be with him this year because he's got Jordan Mason.
Right. But I mean, let's say Josh Allen, CD Lamb, or get cooked somewhere late in the season. Knock on wood. But yeah. So injuries you can't plan for, but certainly a good starting point, and he probably knows it. I wonder if he talks a lot of shit in this league. I bet he does.
Well,
or if
he's got our permission
he
to.
does now.
Yeah, shit. All right, enough of this guy. We didn't give him much time, but I think he knows what's up.
Yeah.
All right, next one up here is first ever league champ. And on our notes here, we got won the league the first time. Okay, that adds up. First ever league champ. First time they switched from basketball to football. Uses AI to figure things out and has no football knowledge. King of trolling, talks lots of smack. This is my favorite person in the league.
Yeah,
I'll tell
me
you that
too.
right now. Uses AI, knows nothing about football, and then on top of that is a troll.
And then talks a bunch of shit.
Yeah, bravo right here. I love it.
I don't know. You might not be the only one using AI. Just there's other guys that are using the ESPN AI.
That's true.
Right.
That gives you those terrible trade suggestions and shit.
This is a solid team, though. I'll tell him that. He's got Pat Mahomes. Nothing to say about that. Devon Achane. I didn't draft enough of him this year. I'm a Jags fan, and week one game. Yeah, newsflash. That week one game, I was like, oh, dude, I was stupid about Achane. I should have drafted all of him. He's gonna get rushes. I mean, and this is when Mostert was healthy. He saw a crap load of targets. The Jags were locking them up as far as taking Tua's first read away, and they were clamping down hard. Tua couldn't complete anything downfield, and as a result of that, Mike McDaniel turned Achane into the failsafe and just started hitting him quick and letting him work, and it worked.
He lined him up in the slot a bunch of times too.
Right. He's all over, and I'm telling you right now, Achane is Mike McDaniel's failsafe.
Right.
And he's gonna use the crap out of him. And yeah.
What happens now with no Tua? I don't know. Are they gonna trust Skylar Thompson to handle the football with the same creativity and stuff in those plays that are getting the ball to Devon Achane?
I think that's a fair
on Devon Achane. I don't know how to read the situation at this point.
I think it's a fair point, but I think with the way they do use Achane, he's going to be okay.
He's also just that damn good that might not
right.
Right.
Until he gets hurt.
As long as he stays healthy.
Right.
Well,
let's go pick up. Jalen Wright was picked up off the I was dropped on the waiver wire. Go pick him up because he's going to be the next Achane whenever Achane goes down.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Devon Achan and Rashad White. That's a great duo. Rashad's just going to be that volume dude who's going to rack up points. Justin Jefferson, no complaints there. A little confused about Jameson being your starting. Oh, it's because he's got T.
Okay.
I'd still be starting Pittman over Jameson. I'd
Yeah,
probably even be
I need to
starting
see
Ladd.
a little more.
I want volume from Jameson
Although-
before I'm comfortable.
This might not be a bad week to play Jameson Williams. I know he's got the ankle injury,
That's
but going
true.
against the Bucks, they just lost like 3 starters in their secondary in 1 week. And that's
this
going to
one's
be a
gonna
shootout
burner.
at home, in the dome, on the turf. I'm okay playing Jameson over like a Michael Pittman this week.
Yeah, that's fair. Pitts caught the touchdown. We'll see what he looks like. He's going to require fully healthy Kirk Cousins, but potential's there obviously. J.K. Dobbins looked really nice.
Two receivers, same team.
You stole it, man. I was waiting.
2 receivers, same team again.
It's number 4.
I'm so confused.
J.K. Dobbins takes the early lead there for the Chargers. I mean, he pounded that second half away.
Yeah,
You got.
I don't know how he can still run.
Right.
It's really killing my Kamani Vidal shares.
I agree. This is the opposite of the first bench where this is just all receivers. But yeah, Pittman and Alec Pierce. Go ahead and get rid of Alec Pierce.
Parkinson. Alec Pierce should not be rostered in the 10-team league.
Yeah. Must have been AI who did that one. So yeah, this is a good team overall.
I know AI didn't do Colby Parkinson, so I give him a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, that was a savage move.
Huge Parkinson guy.
Yeah, I like Colby Parkinson this year as well. Yeah, I'd be dropping Alec Pierce. My opinion, though, this is probably a playoff team, but probably not the champion.
Yeah, I like it. It's a solid team. And we can't base anything on week 1 for the most part. I mean, we know usage, but jury's still out as to how high McConkey's going to go this year. Whether Pittman's going to be himself with Anthony Richardson. But they're all good players. They're all really good players. And I like Jameson Williams. If he gets 5 targets a game, I think he's worth having. He's worth having for sure. Because people seem to forget what he was in college.
That's fair.
And that is, he was just, unstoppable. So I think if he gets 5 targets and he keeps playing that downfield role, if he catches 2 of them and scores a touchdown, he's worth having at the very least in a flex every week, probably.
Well, I really like what they were doing with him last week. Not necessarily getting him, straight down the field, but they were getting him on those deep crossers.
Yeah.
Really just hit him in stride where he could just catch it and just run. I think that's where he's going to be his most dangerous.
Yeah, I like this team overall.
Yeah, no, this is a solid team. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think playoff team, but not the champ.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, Alec Pierce. That was the sucker pickup of the week.
Yeah.
That's never going to happen again.
All right, Alex, hit us up on the next one.
All right. Let's go on to BK Hitters.
What?
I'm always so bad with these team names. All right. Kyler Murray at quarterback, James Conner at running back, Travis Etienne as well. We got the nice stack with Kyler and Marvin Harrison Jr. Hopefully Marvin Harrison actually happens, but it didn't look very good in week 1. Malik Neighbors, we got 2 starting rookie wide receivers. I believe Malik Neighbors is going to break out this week against Washington. Their secondary is terrible.
Horrible.
And
so bad.
He's gonna have a big game this week. I think they're gonna focus very hard on just getting Daniel Jones right, getting it to their best playmaker. This could be the big breakout. for Neighbors. Mark Andrews, I'm not that concerned about Mark Andrews. Chiefs always take him away. He's coming off that injury. He's still played a ton of snaps, running a ton of routes. He's going to be fine, I think. Zach Charbonnet is a good start this week. I know it's a tough Patriots defense, but he's going to have the full workload out of that backfield. On the bench, you lost Jordan Love. Luckily, it was only temporary, but you got Kyler anyway. Christian McCaffrey on IR. That's becoming more and more concerning as the days go by. Tyler Lockett, Christian Kirk, Taysom Hill, and of course, my favorite backup defense with Jordan Addison in the IR spot. I don't know what they're gonna do. What they would do if the Ravens defense got injured, and what are they gonna do without?
That's a good point.
Well, yeah. Plus, he's already using the IR slot.
With that said, the Bears defense, I'll give you credit. The Bears defense is going to be a nice streamer for a lot of the season.
Yes.
I might rather have them over the Ravens at some points.
Not this week.
Not this week.
I would like to give a big hearty congratulations for not drafting 2 wide receivers from the same team. I'm really proud of you, man.
You did it.
I want to crown him right now.
After this show is over, we're gonna, since we're in this league looking at these lineups, we're gonna get the notifications: drop defense, drop defense, drop defense, drop defense.
Guys will start dropping wide receivers.
This is a well-rounded team. Obviously, the injuries have just not been fun so far.
Yeah, the McCaffrey thing obviously helps, and Love obviously hurts, and Love is not much better. So,
let's be real. McCaffrey drafters, your team screwed.
Right.
In every single league.
I do like the fact that he knew what he was doing when he was drafting quarterbacks, because he got Love and he got Kyler Murray. Mm-hmm. So, didn't take really a step back there by having Love out. You want the option, but you'll have that back eventually.
How do we feel about 2 rookie wide receivers as your starters?
I wouldn't have doubled up.
Really rolling the dice with that one.
Yeah, it's risky. It's risky. But, I guess if you're going to do it, these are the 2 to do it with.
Right. Yeah, it's a fine team. I just think the injuries, especially with CMC, this team's already buried.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
By the time Marvin Harrison gets going and Malik Neighbors get going,
there's no time for that with this team.
Late. And then when that happens, once they finally get going, you're going to lose James Conner to an injury. Mark Andrews might get hurt again. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, I think this team's already dead in the water.
I wonder if, speaking of which, I don't know what kind of.
Can you trade Christian McCaffrey? Will somebody bite on that? Somebody will bite on that, right?
Probably. It's somebody that thinks they're
not now that we're talking about it.
Who is this? BK hit us. What is that? British Knights? You guys are too young for that reference. Yeah, well, you don't. I'll tell you what, man. Is Benson on the free agent wire?
Let me look. Trey Benson?
Yeah. Because I don't think we've seen him yet.
He is.
I would drop your defense and pick up Benson right now.
I can get on board with that.
As long as you got Connor, you want one of them or both of them. You'd rather have both of them so that when there's only one of them, you're good. That's another way to protect the running back position while you got McCaffrey out.
Yep. All right, Sam, go ahead and take us here to team number 9.
All right. Let me see where I was here. Where'd I go?
Submit to my authority.
Submit to my authority. Okay, let's see. We got Aaron Rodgers. He sucks. I don't know why anybody would draft him ever. This guy's apparently a Jets fan.
Only if he's got two Jets receivers is he a true Jets fan.
Well, no, it's in the notes. He is a Jets fan. So we got, hold on, there was something else. Super fan for Jets, but mostly Aaron Rodgers. This is his first time ever playing fantasy sports. Talks a lot of smack and thinks he's the smartest person about football. So let's see what we got. Aaron Rodgers is your starter, okay? Kamara and Najee Harris. Got my boy Jamar along with Deebo Samuel. It's a pretty nice duo. Likely at tight end, I'm seriously doubting that was a draft. That was probably
He was a pickup.
Yeah, beat everybody to the waiver wire, but he had drafted Kelsey, Jared Goff, and Matt Stafford. Let's have three of them. Brandon Cooks, Mike Williams, and Drake London. I like Drake London a lot.
Three quarterbacks is a problem.
Three quarterbacks is a problem, and the funniest part is the odd one out, I think, is Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's your favorite player.
It's so true.
Get him out of there.
And your wide receivers aren't that bad, but the odd one out is Mike Williams. Jets. But if you're rolling through here, let's see, with Goff and Stafford, we've got no running backs on the bench. So the only running backs on the team are Kamara and Harris. That's going to be a problem.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure on buys you can do a plug and play, but when you've got somebody that's, like one of those early teams that sucked up all the starters, your plug and play is not going to score very many points.
Gotta have that backup defense, though. Can't roster a running back. You got the Seahawks defense on the bench.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Oh, two defenses. Cool. Yeah. Right on.
Two defenses.
He
Three
should drop the
quarterbacks.
second defense, pick up Alan Lazard so he has two Jets receivers.
Get rid of Brandon Cooks and Mike Williams. We don't need them. We'll get some running backs.
Brandon Cooks, I don't mind having right now.
Yeah, he's fine.
Just because Ferguson's banged up.
But based on all the wide receivers who are available on the waiver
Oh,
wire,
that's true. In a sense, yeah, you're right.
Brandon Cooks is like there's like 25 Brandon Cooks is on the waiver wire right now.
Right. I think. What do you guys think about this? I'd be starting. Well, you're not going to drop San Francisco's defense, but I'd probably start Seattle this week against the Patriots.
I don't know. Sam Darnold, man. See, the thing is with going against the Patriots is they're not going to throw the ball a lot. So you're not going to get those sacks. You're not going to get those interceptions. Whereas the Vikings, they're going to be dropping back all day long. And you got Sam Darnold back there who's going to take a ton of sacks. He's susceptible to turning the ball over. I know he played well in week 1. Maybe he's fixed miraculously. Maybe he's the next Geno Smith. I don't know. But
the next Geno Smith. Said no one ever.
Both drafted by the Jets.
Said he's the next Geno Smith.
Both drafted by the Jets. But yeah, I would be playing the 49ers. They're the better defense anyway.
Yeah, you got to stick with the better defense. I was just thinking more in terms of I know New England's going to run the ball, but Seattle might be able to shut them out of the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, even if the Vikings score more points than the Patriots. They're more susceptible to those turnovers, those things that are going to give you fantasy points for a fantasy defense.
49ers are set it and forget defense for me.
Yeah, I think so. That would be like this is like the last team that needs a backup defense.
Yeah, I'm getting all fooled because these people all have 2 defenses. It's making me overthink stuff. But yeah, 49ers is set it and forget it. Just like the guy that had Baltimore earlier, that's set it and forget it too. Even though Chicago is a good streamer. I'm digging the wide receivers here with Chase, Samuel, and London. I agree, Alex, that Cook and Williams should go. And I don't think we're going to talk him into dropping Aaron Rodgers.
Unfortunately, no.
Aaron Rodgers is going to be awesome this year.
I'm going to plead with this team. Please go pick up some handcuff running backs.
Right.
Like I said before, Brandon Cooks, Mike Williams, these are so replaceable on your waiver wire. If something happens to, say, James Conner, and then all of a sudden Trey Benson's the starter in Arizona. Something happens to Kyron Williams. Blake Corum's the starter. Something happens to James Cook. Maybe we got some big Ray Davis weeks, so on. Jalen Wright's on the waiver wire. These are the guys who are going to be rushing. Your league mates are going to be rushing to the waiver wire to go pick those guys up if something happens. Nobody is ever going to rush to the waiver wire and spend these big bids on a Brandon Cooks or a Mike Williams. It's never going to happen. They're not the difference makers. The difference makers are these running backs.
Alex, you're wasting your breath because this guy is the smartest person about football.
Oh, you're right.
True.
Right in front of me.
I'm going to go pick up 3 quarterbacks and 3 defenses on all my teams.
But and I don't mean this as talking shit. It's pretty clear to me that you've never played fantasy football before. And that's okay. More props to you for, I don't know if you've been living under a rock or what.
Maybe he's like 12 and he's never been exposed to fantasy before.
Yeah, maybe they had to like pull him away from his Magic the Gathering game to just the draft.
This guy, I haven't looked at the draft. Lord. I guarantee you this guy drafted the defense in like the 6th round.
Somebody else did that last year, I think. I saw in the notes.
Yeah, it's the last guy.
Anyway.
Speaking of, I'm just going to take it on.
I'm sorry, it was the 8th round.
Anyway, yeah, you got some work to do.
In front of Chris Godwin and Kyler Murray. Got to get that defense. Sorry, go ahead.
You got some work to do on this team. Williams and Cooks and one of the defenses or Seattle and probably one of the quarterbacks in a 10-team league all should probably go, and you can do better. You can do better on the waiver wire, but your core is okay. I like Kamara and Harris, Chase and Samuel. I can dig all that. And Goff finished QB9 last year, was it?
Something like that.
I don't think he was that high.
He's got weapons, you know what I mean? So I don't know. You're not going to finish last for your first year.
That's a plus.
Yeah. All right, Alex, take us home.
All right.
Or is it Schultze?
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay.
Last one here is Real Champ. And this is the guy who last year drafted a defense in the 5th round and won the league.
Oh, that's
only put 60 points up in the first week. And talk smack sometimes if he has to. If his job's required, this guy's going to get the job done. So respect for that. Jane Daniels, love that. I'm going to go see when you drafted him. We'll see. This is Real Champ, that guy. And that is slot number 9. We'll see. He drafted Joe Burrow in the 5th round, but took Jaden in the 12th. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to start Jaden all year unless he gets hurt. But you went Brees and you went Josh Jacobs pretty early as your running backs. Like, that's a good combo.
Yep.
wasn't like huge on Jacobs this year, but like I think the volume's just going to be there, and it's going to, it's going to be one of those guys by the end of the year. He's going to be up in the top 10 as a result of that alone. Devontae, target machine. Brandon Ayuk, week 1 wasn't great, but give him some time. He'll be fine.
I love Ayuk.
I think Kincaid's going to get better. I don't think there's like huge reason to panic with him yet, but
I agree.
I also don't think he's going to have like that top 3 season some people are thinking, but I don't think he's dead in the water. Excuse me. Xavier Worthy. It's kind of a trap start a little bit after week 1, I think, especially when you've got Terry McLaurin on the bench. And Jaden Reed is the guy I'd probably be putting in. Even if Love is out,
I don't know,
the
man.
slot is just that friendly
Willis
position.
Is bad.
Yeah, I'm not playing.
Willis is
I'm not playing any Green Bay receivers until I've seen Malik Willis.
I forgot Malik Willis.
What's that?
I said I forgot it was Malik Willis.
Yeah.
But
it's
at
either
least
Malik Willis or Sean Clifford. Pick your poison.
At least for Jaden Reed, like you can get schemed up in the slot, and LaFleur's good at that. So I think he at least had he's playable at least without Love, and he's the only one.
But if you have other options like a Terry McLaurin, for example, you're not.
Yes, I would be playing McLaurin this week for sure.
I will say that I think part of it is he was scared into this because it said that he only put up 60 points in the first week because he left a ton of points on the bench. And I can tell you right now, that was Worthy. I'm guessing. I'm sure.
For sure.
Worthy, Jaden Daniels.
Yep. Wandale.
Yeah. Possibly Jaden Reed for the 2 touchdowns, So, he's like trying to get people in the lineup. I'm not of the same opinion on Worthy. The Bengals secondary is suspect, and they already gave Worthy bulletin board material. So,
oh yeah, I did see that. And Andy Reid's the type of guy who's gonna let Worthy pay off on that too.
Yeah. All in all, this is a pretty good team.
1 defense, bravo.
Whoa, what? Oh my God. You can go ahead and drop Hollywood, so you've got that IR spot.
Yeah,
he ain't coming back. Just in case you need that IR spot later. I
agree. This is a good team.
1 defense, and it's the Jets. Like I don't know what to do with myself here. Yeah, I like it. It's a solid team. Once again, no running backs on the bench. Once again, it's another team with only 2 running backs.
That's wild.
Yeah, that concerns me a little bit, but it's definitely got a strong core for sure.
Yeah, this is a good team.
Yeah. I'd say with very little management, this is a playoff team. With really, really combing the waiver wire every week, this is a team that has a chance to go a ways in the playoffs.
I was going to give it the exact same kind of like vibe of like, this is a playoff team with, chips fall the right way that it can do it.
Right.
Yeah. Drop those bottom 3 guys, Judy, Wandale, Freiermuth, pick up some running backs, maybe hit a lottery ticket on a running back. And that's really going to help you down the stretch.
Yeah. As soon as we log off, everybody's going to race for running backs.
As they should. We're teaching them how to be better at fantasy football because some of these guys
right.
need it.
That's true.
It sounds like, from what I can tell from the notes, it sounds like all of these guys would kick my fucking ass in basketball.
Probably.
Because everybody is like, but he's been in the basketball league. Oh, by the way, we just decided to play football after playing fantasy basketball forever.
I mean, just because they know how to play fantasy basketball doesn't mean they know how to play basketball.
Well, no, but I meant they would kick my butt in fantasy.
Oh, in fantasy basketball. Okay, I got you.
Well, that's all of our teams. Last thing we do around here before we get out is we all say who we think's going to win. But I'm going to be honest. I think we're all going to say Waddle on Henry's Lamb.
Yep. There are, and I don't want anybody to throw their hands up and think that we're just guaranteeing he's going to win. I mean, he's got to stay healthy, and some of these teams are really strong and could be, hyper competitive towards the end if they just make a couple good waiver wire moves and the chips fall, the right way. It just depends. Any given Sunday, right?
I'm going hot fire.
Boom.
Hot fire, champion.
You did say you liked hot fire a lot.
Hot fire. Let's go. Anthony Richardson. We got some stud running. This is the only team that drafted running back on the bench. They drafted them all.
All of them. So
and
go
they're
hit
still
him
good
up.
at wide receiver with Garrett Wilson, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Smith. They got Sam Laporta at tight end. They don't have a backup defense. I'm going hot fire.
Big plus.
Yep.
Okay. Is this a one-timer? Do we have a follow-up? What's the deal with that?
As of now, it is a one-timer, but
Okay.
they know the link.
Do it
They
again.
know where to follow up.
We're here for you guys. If you enjoyed this, to do either a mid-season or a postseason, whatever. We have a lot of fun doing them, and like we're happy to do them for you guys. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And reach out for help. Some of you guys need it.
That's awesome.
Oh, and I wanted to say one thing. I can't remember which team it was that I'm guessing they picked up Charbonnet. Probably wasn't drafted. Well, maybe he was. But whoever has Charbonnet, when he goes nuts on the Patriots defense, make sure you let Gaza hear about it, okay?
I'm ready. I'm ready for my notifications. Drop defense, drop defense, drop defense. Add running back, add running back, add running back.
Anyway, this was fun, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yep. Yeah, that's it for me. Anyone else got anything?
That's it.
All right, peace out.